Hey, what's up guys? Thanks so much for stopping by. So I had the opportunity recently to scratch something off the old bucket list. This is actually something I've always wanted to do ever since I was a little kid, and that would be to compete in a video game tournament. I know that that sport, I use that term loosely, has become very popular all over the world, especially with multiplayer games like Call of Duty and Battlefield and Halo and things like that. And they hold tournaments actually for really big prizes, and some of these guys do this professionally and actually make a considerable living. So while I wasn't aiming quite that high, I figured I would start a little smaller and do something a little more inside my wheelhouse. I had the opportunity to compete in an old school NES tournament at a local business that's in my neck of the woods called eStarland. They also have a website, estarland.com. Please stop by and check them out. If you're into retro games, modern games, pretty much anything like that. They are gamers, period. So every month they hold a little event called the Xchange, where they do things like, it's almost like a flea market, where you've got different vendors that are selling games and game memorabilia and, just general things of that nature. And another thing they do is they hold like raffles, and things like they'll auction off rare pieces of video game collectability, like boxed NES systems and, just little things like that. And another thing they do is that they hold an NES tournament where they bring in, I think, usually 2 or 3 games, and they set the rules and set the objective, and you can actually compete for prizes. So I had the opportunity to compete in the one for November, just a few weeks back, and I basically signed up because of one particular game that I know is in my wheelhouse. That absolutely, this is something I definitely have a lot of practice at. You guys have seen it on Retro Game Lounge when Chuck and I took it on with a little spot of helium balloon fight. So I spent basically that day and the day before sitting down playing my ass off on balloon fight, right? And I'm just practicing. And I'm doing just, one player, just going through the levels and stuff, and I'm getting to the point where I'm getting really good at this. I think at one point I did the best run of balloon fight I've ever done in my entire life. I just got in the zone, dialed in, and was just on a roll. So I'm going into this thing feeling really prepared, right? And then I get there, and they hit me with a little curveball. They weren't going to be doing the portion of balloon fight that I was practicing for, going through the levels, the traditional game. They were doing basically the balloon trip section, which is kind of like a survival mode where you're going through and you're avoiding little electrical obstacles and stuff like that, and you got to collect balloons, and they give you a set time limit. I think it's three minutes, if I remember right, that you can go through it, and you rack up as many points as you possibly can. So I haven't done balloon fight I haven't done a balloon trip, in a very long time. So I'm feeling really, really small when they lay this on me. I'm like, oh man. So I'm just like, all right, screw it. I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna give it my best shot. So the first guy sits down, and he makes a couple of flubs, for the first 2 lives. They let you keep going basically as many times as you want. You can die as many times inside of the 3-minute time limit. And then he does one where he's dialed in, man, and he just freaking crushes it. So I know that's what I'm up against. There's a couple of people who went after him, and then eventually it's my turn. Okay, so right away, basically, I know what I'm up against, because of that first guy who pretty much set the pace. So I'm like, I got to pull out all the stops, man. I've got to really hustle and really push it. So I make a little boo-boo, and my first life kind of comes and goes really quickly, and I just hit the dirt. I'm just like, oh God, come on. Then I make a little boo-boo, and there goes my second life. So yeah, at this point I'm getting really nervous, and I know that this is pretty much the last chance I've got to really make a good run at this, because the clock's ticking.
Listen more at the Gamers Exchange, guys. We got more contests coming up. There you go. Come back and get it. What's the next score, John? 14-260, second high score.
So my third life, man, I'm dialed in, buddy. I am focused. I'm just like, I'm gonna do this, man. Screw this shit. So I keep going, and I'm pulling off stuff, and the crowd behind me is giving me some support and stuff when I'm pulling a move, you know, just kind of doing little hairpin turns and stuff like that, and you know, squeaking through the little electrical orbs. I hear a lot of like oohs and ahs, you know. So I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling the energy of the crowd. I'm like, come on, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. And I'm just moving right along. I'm racking up the score. You know, the announcer tells me I've already secured second place. I'm feeling good. I'm high on that. And then something happens that almost made me cry. I was flying way too low. I honestly just completely forgot about the whole water thing because I was so focused on avoiding the electrical things, and I just forgot that when you when you fly in too low, the little shark thing will come up and grab you. I mean, that was like 50 feet, 50 miles from my mind. I wasn't even considering that because I was so worried and concentrated on the task at hand. And the crowd behind me was just let out this like, oh, because I was this close, to getting the first place prize, man. I was definitely poised to do it. I had enough time left to make it happen. It's just that one mistake cost me first place. So, it's all good, no worries. Okay, so originally I just went to this place to do balloon fight. That's really all that I had practiced for. I really wasn't planning on competing in any of the two games, but since I did so much better than I thought I would in balloon fight, I got second place. I wasn't expecting to place at all. I was expecting to be up against way bigger game nerds than me. And, I'm kind of, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling, kind of high on the experience. And I'm like, you know what, screw it. Like, I'm here. They're lining these games up. Why don't I compete in the other two? So the second game was Burger Time. And little confession, guys, I've never played Burger Time in my entire life. Ever. I know the game. I'm familiar with it, of course, but I do not remember ever playing that. Like, even as little Jimbo. I don't think I've ever played it a single time. So luckily, I didn't have to go first. I got a little bit of an advantage where I got to watch the guys in front of me, just go through it because I didn't know any of the controls or anything. I had a basic idea of what the objective was, to knock the little burger pieces down and build a burger, but it gave me a little bit of a push that I could watch their strategy and the basic thing, and I took a few mental notes as I was doing that. So it's my turn to go. I think I'm like the fourth or fifth person to go. And I get in there, and for some reason, Burger Time comes very naturally to me. I don't know why, but I just focus, and I'm dialed in, and I fly through the first level. I was the only person of anyone there who did not die a single time on the first level. And I'm just like, did I really do that? And even the announcer was like, are you sure you've never played this before? I'm like, man, I swear to God, I've never played this before.
What's in the world? Go get him. 30 seconds.
So I get through the first level, and I'm really low on time, so it took me a lot longer to get through the first level than I thought it would. So I'm going in the second level, and I'm really in a rush because I know I've secured second place. They already announced that. I squeaked by that on the first level. So I'm in a rush to get to the first place, and I just got to rack up those points as fast as I can. So I die once, simply because I was in a really big hurry. I was really hustling. I was just, taking risks and things because I knew I had to get the points. And I'm just in a rush, and the next thing I know, clock runs out. So that's pretty much it for me. First place guy did a really good job, but I'll give myself a little pat on the back here. For a guy who's never played it, since I beat, I think, 5 other people who competed in this, who played it before, that definitely was a big checkbox in the plus department for me. So we get to the third game. This is one that I have played before. This is kind of notorious, I would say, not just in my history of playing the NES, but a lot of people. Kind of a notoriously unforgiving and difficult game. So the first guy sits down to play it, and it's just kind of a wash. It just goes in and out. Not a really great score or anything. And I think it's the second or third guy. There's this shorter dude who sits down to play it, and before he gets up there, I'm just like kind of talking to the other contestants. We're just kind of geeking, and I'm like, man, I played the skateboarding section of this, but I'm like, I can never master the surfing thing. I'm like, does anyone actually play the surfing thing? And this guy was like, yeah, I do. And this dude sits down, and he's like fucking Bobby Fischer of TNC Surf Designs. Like, this dude is like the Mac Daddy of this game. He makes the surfing thing, he's surfing with the ape, and he's just, doing the going down the wave, going up the wave, going down the wave, just doing the loop-de-loo and stuff like that. And this guy's making it look like he's just goofing around, and points are just skyrocketing. And in this particular one, they had no time limit. You went through your lives, and that was it. And this guy cut his run short, I think, just to give the other contestants an opportunity, because he was nowhere near dying. He didn't die at all. He had flawless runs. All the way through. He completed the entire first levels. It was either you complete the first level or you lose your lives. That's it. No time limit. And I'm just like, there is absolutely no way in hell that I'm going to beat that. Even if I ace the skateboarding level, I'm like, there's no way I can pull that on the surfing thing. And as he was doing the surfing thing, I'm kind of peeking over his shoulder, looking down at his hands, trying to figure out what he's doing. I'm just kind of watching his hands on the controller. To try and decipher, how he's doing what he's doing. Because I could never figure this out when I was a kid. And so I just go into it and I just hustle my best through it. And definitely not a run on this game that anyone should be proud of. Not really good. But apparently it was good enough to secure third place. I was shocked as hell with that. Apparently I beat the guy that was ahead of me by just a little bit. I think less than 100 points. And just barely squeaked by. So let's get into the prizes for these games. Okay, so basically, the prizes for these games were kind of themed around the particular game that you were playing. So for the first one, Balloon Fight, they were giving away kind of balloon-centric prizes. And for mine...
Jimbo, congratulations, man. Good job. Good run. Almost there. Score of 16,240 points. You are the proud winner of How to Tie Balloon Animals right here. Congratulations, guys. Good run.
How to Build Balloon Animals kit. For Burger Time, it was definitely something that caught a bit more my interest, because the whole theme of it was, centered around burgers, Burger Time. So the first place guy, I think, got a gift card to Red Robin. Got $30 to Red Robin, which is super cool. You guys know I love Red Robin, man. Jimbo Day. It's freaking awesome. So my prize for second place...
Jimbo, come on down, man. Not bad for your first time, huh? You get a Five Guys $15 gift certificate, so there you go. Take your lady friend right there who's filming. Thank you.
$15 to Five Guys, man. Way cool. Love that stuff. Okay, so the prize for TNC Surf Designs. Obviously, these are going to be surf-centric, themed around kind of the surfer culture type of thing. So the guy who did the run, the ultimate freaking Bobby Fischer run on this thing, got a really cool prize. He got I think it was a body glove boogie board kind of thing, that had all the, floral patterns and kind of surfer dude kind of stuff all over it, which was really cool. That would look really cool on your wall. Okay, so we get to me, the third place winner, and they give me a poster.
It's a funny one. Chewbacca surfing, congratulations.
Surf's up, dude. I want to give a very special thanks to Raphael, the marketing director for Starland. Thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate that. He was gave me a really warm welcome, made me feel really invited to this thing, and gave me a nice plug, for the channel and for the Retro Game On show while I was sitting there, competing in the NES tournament. So, Raphael, thanks so much, dude. And just a very big thanks to Starland for putting on these Gamers Exchange events every month. I had a lot of fun at this one, and I'm planning on attending the next one. That should be a lot of fun. So I guess we'll see what NES games they come up with next time for the tournament. Well, I want to thank everyone so much for stopping by. To all my fellow gamers out there, retro or not, game on.